Grand Tour to Peloponnese and North Greece. A 7-day program. Day 1. Passepartout Tours' private chauffeur will drive you along the coastal road of the Saronic Gulf until we reach the Corinth Canal and its breathtaking views. Shortly thereafter we reach the ancient Corinth city where St. Paul lived and preached for 2 years. In the ancient times, Corinth was amongst the richest city, and this is quite evident by its remains, including the huge ancient agora and Apollo's temple. We visit Isthmian at the site of the ancient port of Kechreai, where St. Paul disembarked. We'll visit Epidaurus and its ancient Epidaurus theater, famous for its remarkable acoustics. Passepartout Tours will drive you to the pretty town of Nafplion, the first capital of modern Greece, for lunch. After the visit, the coast of Nafplion, and will then drive you to Mycenae through Argos. We'll visit the archaeological site, the remainings of the ancient city, including the Lioness Gate, the tomb of Agamemnon, and the palace. We then will continue our private tour driving to Olympia through Tripolis and Megalopolis, and at the end of the day we stay over in Ancient Olympia. Day 2. We start in the morning, and the Passepartout Tour private chauffeur will drive towards the city of Ancient Olympia, the birthplace of Olympics, the Olympic Games. In 1776 BC, Iphitos, king of Elis, Cleosthenes of Pisa, and Lycurgus of Sparta recognized the Olympic Games in honor of Zeus, and instituted and sacred a Kechreai, or truce, and very fast the quadrennial festival acquired a national character. Its fame rests upon the Olympic Games, the greatest national festival and high prestigious one worldwide, which was held every 4 years to honor Zeus. Olympia has been the center of attention during the ancient years, and still today is the starting point of the Olympic flame that is born here every 4 years prior to the new festival. Run to experience the starting line is still visible in the original Olympic Stadium. Take your position and then run this historic course, competing with the athletes of the past or simply the tourists that flock to this area. The Olympia Archaeological Museum and the Museum of Olympic Games, where artifacts and collections and relics to both ancient and modern Greece is not to miss. Passepartout Tours will take us from Olympia through Patras to Rion. We'll cross the Corinthian Bay to Andirion via the bridge, the new bridge, the biggest in Europe. We drive to the picturesque Nafpaktos and view the new road along the coast to Delphi. We visit in the afternoon the picturesque mountain village of Arachova for dinner, and we then finally come overnight to Delphi or Arachova. Day 3. In the morning, our Passepartout Tour private chauffeur will continue visiting Delphi, the ancient sanctuary of Apollo. We will visit the museum in Delphi, where one can see, among other archaeological treasures, the unique bronze charioteer. Then proceed through the sacred way to the Athenian treasury. Visit the temple of Apollo, and the tour will depart for Kalampaka, a small city by the feet of Meteora. You will be traveling through the towns of central Greece, Amphissa, Lamia, and Trichala, crossing the Thessalian plain, so that we reach Kalampaka late in the afternoon. Overnight, we stay at the feet of Meteora. The 6 monasteries of Meteora are the monastery of Great Meteoron. It is the biggest of the Meteorian monasteries. The monastery of Arpharlam is the second after the great Meteora, a big in size monastery. The monastery of Rusanu, it is dedicated to the Transfiguration, but honored the Saint Barbara. The monastery of Saint Nicholas Anapapsis is the first to meet on our way from Kastraki to Meteora. The monastery of Saint Stephen, it is one of the most attainable, as we don't have to cope with innumerous stairs to reach in. And finally, the monastery of Holy Trinity is very difficult to reach. The visitors have to cross the valley and continue high up through the rock before we arrive outside the entrance. On day 4, in the morning, we will visit the breathtaking Meteora and its monasteries built on top of the high rocks, standing between wind skies and earth. We visit now one of the biggest and most important group of monasteries in Greece after those in Mount Athos. The rocky monasteries have been characterized by UNESCO as a unique phenomenon of cultural heritage, and they form one of the most important stations of cultural map of Greece. The monasteries belong to a region of almost inaccessible sandstone peaks. On these columns of sky, monks have settled from the 11th century onwards, where 24 of these monasteries were built, despite incredible difficulties at the time of the great revival of the Aramaic ideal in the 15th century. After lunch, we start driving through the town of central Greece, across the Thessalian plain, through Larisa, Tempi mountains, Katerini, to reach late in the afternoon Litochoron, the entrance to Mount Olympus. At night, you're free to do anything you want. Day 5, after breakfast, will drive us to the famous sacred Macedonian town of Dion and Litochoron, by the foot of the mountain Olympus. We'll have lunch in Katerini in a nice tavern by the sea, and we'll continue our private tour to Thessaloniki, the largest town in northern Greece. We visit the Museum of Thessaloniki and sightseeing of the city with its modern, unique nightlife. And we have overnight. Day 6. In the morning, will drive us to Pela. It's Alexander the Great capital. We continue to Vergina to visit the tomb of the King Philip and the famous Vergina treasures. We will head on to the Lefkadia, where you'll visit the excavations. And then we'll return to Thessaloniki through Veria. And, of course, you'll have overnight in Thessaloniki and a lot of free time to enjoy the nightlife. Day 7th and last, we start with our breakfast and we start driving back to Athens, through Tempi, Larisa, Lamia, Thermopylae, famous for the ancient battle between Leonidas and his 300 Spartans, Xerxes and the Persians, that took place there. Then we pass through Kamenavola and we'll end our tour in Athens at your hotel. This is the 7-day tour of the Peloponnese and northern Greece.